We're back at 7:30 on this Thursday morning, the 6th day of February, 1997. And in the Did You Know department, Ronald Reagan is 86 years old today. Zsa Zsa Gabor is 80. And NBC News anchorman Tom Brokaw is, excuse me, 57.
Man, he must have socks as old as we are, huh?
Whoa.
Tom, a little birthday joke there.
That was Matt
A very
Lauer.
little birthday joke. Back inside Studio 1A, I'm Katie Couric, here with Matt Lauer, the former co-anchor of today's show, and Al Roker as well. Coming up in our next half hour, the Army can't seem to solve its sexual harassment problems. The newest charges involve the Army's highest-ranking enlisted man. In just a few moments, we'll talk to the woman who brought the charges against him. Matt?
Katie, also Dennis Rodman is set to return to the NBA next week following an 11-game suspension for kicking a courtside cameraman. He is poorer by about $1 million this morning. We're going to find out if he's any wiser.
And Gene Shalit deals with the case of deja vu involving Star Wars. Do you think that Carrie Fisher still has those sticky buns next to her ears? I used to love those Princess Leia buns, but those
Wait a
buns.
second,
But
A lot of people
did, yeah, come to think of it.
But first the news, and once again, here's Ann Curry.
All right,
Sorry,
thanks a
Ann.
lot, Katie. In the news this morning, today the O.J. Simpson jury begins assessing whether Simpson should pay still more damages for crimes against Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. His lawyers will ask for monetary mercy in the $8.5 million judgment already handed down by the jury. They will claim he is only worth about $500,000. Today, President Clinton submits his budget to Congress, and some Republicans say it will not be dead on arrival as in past years. The president says his plan would balance the budget by 2002. Whitewater prosecutors want James McDougal's sentencing postponed. They say they need more time to corroborate new information McDougal has given them. McDougal, a former partner of the Clintons, was convicted of fraud in the land deal. 15 people suffered minor injuries Wednesday when an Amtrak train slammed into a tractor-trailer near Jacksonville, Florida. The driver of the tractor-trailer was apparently trying to make a U-turn when he got stuck in the railroad crossing. It is now 7:32. Time for the weather and Al.
Today's weather is brought to you by Nicorette Gum. Now available without a prescription. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
And good morning, all. We got okay, I'll bite. What happened 50 years ago today?
Us! Our birthday!
Oh, son of a gun!
We came for our 50th birthday.
Are you guys twins?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What's your names?
Nikki Brown.
And?
Betty Nicholson.
And where are you guys from?
Vale, Colorado.
Well, thanks.
And Vienna, West Virginia.
Well, thanks and you brought some friends with you.
These are our daughters.
Oh.
And did you see our shirts?
We took a bite out of the Big Apple.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice. Well, happy birthday to both of you.
Thank you.
Have you always had to share the same cake?
No. No. Mother always kept everything separate.
Well, that's nice. Okay.
So we each had our own.
Different colors. That's right.
Yeah, all right. But they had to think about that for a second. Well, happy birthday. Let's check your weather, show you what's going on today. And we got a lot of wet and white stuff down through the south into the plains. We're looking at anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of snow through the plains. Heavy rains, 1 to 3 inches in the Red River Valley of Texas. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Good morning, everyone. In the Yakima Valley today, low clouds and local morning fog. Highs in the upper 20s to low 30s, around 32 degrees, with some light and variable winds. As for tonight, low clouds and fog. Partial clearing tomorrow afternoon, although tonight, overnight lows between 20 and 25 degrees. Around the Tri-Cities, low clouds and fog this morning. Highs 30 to 35 degrees with some north winds. As for tonight and tomorrow, more low clouds and fog. Occasional sun breaks in the afternoon. Overnight lows between 25 and 30. Tomorrow's highs in the mid-30s.
I talked to Uncle Willard yesterday. He's up and walking around. He should be out of the hospital tomorrow. He sends his love. He also sent us a videotape that he made before he went in for surgery.
Thank you, gang. It's always a pleasure. I don't know about you, but I could tell when my mother and father came home after a PTA meeting, the look on their face, whether the teacher told them what I was hoping the teacher would tell them. Do you know that right here in Washington, D.C., 100 years ago, the Parent Teachers Association was started? Happy birthday. A great organization keeping the school and the young people together with their parents. That's the secret. Participation. Need the folks. Audrey Ashton of Alhambra, California, 106. She drove to California from Minnesota in 1923. Took her 6 weeks. I had a car like that once. Roads were so rough they could only travel 40 miles a day. Happy birthday. Ignazio, is that right? Ignazio Carluccio of Salisbury, Mass. is 100 years old today. Was a professional violinist, a pharmacist for 50 years, and he now lives at the beach. Hey, dude, fantastic. Good for you. Mary Landis of Leiditz, Pennsylvania. I'm sure it's Leiditz, Pennsylvania. 100 years old today. She says, think young. Her roommate is 104. Happy birthday. That's it. That's all for birthdays from Smuckers. How sweet it is.
Thanks, Willard. Sergeant Major Brenda Hoster was a respected 22-year veteran of the Army when she retired last year. But last week, she dropped a bombshell when she charged that she had been sexually assaulted by her boss, the highest-ranking enlisted man in the Army, Sergeant Major Gene McKinney. Ms. Hoster, good morning.
Good morning, Katie.
Thanks for joining us. Let's give people some background. Explain what your last job was in the Army before you retired.
I was a public affairs specialist for the Sergeant Major of the Army, which my duties included helping him with preparing speeches, setting up media interviews, and ghostwriting articles.
You first took that job in July of 1995. Initially, things went well, correct?
Yes, Katie, that's true.
Then what happened? About after a month after you had the job, things started to go downhill. He didn't seem very pleased with your performance.
That's all the indications that I got. It just seemed like I could never do anything right. And I never understood why. I didn't have any problems up until this point in my career getting it right. But for him, it just seemed like he was hard to please.
In fact, you were in the Army, as I mentioned, 22 years. You established quite a reputation for yourself. You got a Bronze Star. You were considered a skilled drill instruction and supervisor. You had received primarily accolades during your tenure on the Army. Is that correct, accurate?
That's true, Katie. I was very proud of my career, and I worked very hard to be a professional soldier and an outstanding leader.
It's my understanding, Ms. Hoster, there were a couple of incidents. The first, I guess, was in August of 1995. Can you tell us what happened?
We were on a visit to Fort Bragg in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I had set up a last-minute local media interview at one of the units we were visiting, and after the day's events, we were in the VIP quarters on post, and the Sergeant Major asked myself and another soldier traveling with us what we thought of the day, and so we told him, and then I told him I thought he did a really good job with the media interview, and he made a comment about he didn't appreciate being gang raped by the media. And I told him I didn't see it that way, that I thought it went really well, and he got angry, slammed his fist down on the table and said, you know, why are you always so darn defensive?
And later, didn't he sort of pin you against a sofa, is my understanding, and say that you needed a good butt whooping? Is that right?
Yes, Katie, that's correct. It was later in the evening, he had asked me to come downstairs. Well, we had been down visiting with a soldier who was going to come work in our office, and he just went. He wanted to go through what happened earlier at the dinner table, and actually it was like, for him, it was like he never hollered at me. It was like it never happened, and that's when he stood up and just said, you know, you just need a good butt whooping.
Did you report anybody, or report that to anybody, the comments he had made at that juncture?
No, I didn't.
Then I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just, I didn't know what to do about it.
Then last April, when you all were on a trip, a business trip to Hawaii, there was another incident.
Yes, he had been in our room earlier, like I said, the other traveling soldiers that were with us, and left. He was angry because of conversation we were all having, and then came back to my room later, and the one sergeant was there still in my room, and I had asked him to stay when the Sergeant Major came in, and but the Sergeant Major asked the young male soldier to leave, that he needed to talk to me alone, and so the soldier left, and we were in my room, and he was talking about the difficulties he was having, and nobody understood what he was going through, because they had just lost their son a month prior.
In a car accident,
right.
Their 18-year-old son.
Right, and so the conversation just went from that, and I was telling him he needed to go back to his room where his wife was and be with her, that he didn't need to be in there with me. It was late, and eventually he approached me, kissed me. I'm trying to get him out the room. He picks me up, says what a nice body I have, puts me down. I'm telling him he needs to leave, and then from there, he finally does leave. But before he leaves, he tells me that I got him excited, and didn't I want to look at that? And I told him no, I didn't want to look.
He said something to the effect of, I could take you here, right now, something
Right.
along those lines.
Right.
After that incident, 7 weeks after that incident, you did report it. Tell me who you reported that incident to and what the reaction was.
I first talked to the Sergeant Major of Public Affairs at the time. I confided in him as a friend and as a colleague, and he went down the hall and talked to his supervisor, which was Colonel Gaylord, and I was called into Colonel Gaylord's office the next day, and he asked me to tell the story, and I did. Told him what happened, and I even went back to some of the other ongoing things, the hostile environment that I had to work in, and then the situations at Fort Bragg in Hawaii. And I really thought that he was going to help me because he seemed upset by the whole thing. But by the time I left his office, I pretty much knew that my request to be reassigned probably wasn't going to go anywhere, and my only choice would be to retire so that I could get away from that situation.
But why didn't you fight it? You've been in the Army for 22 years. Obviously, you're a strong woman. You have an impressive resume in the military. Why not pursue it further?
I trusted my leadership. When I went into Colonel Gaylord's office, I really thought that was the right way to do the process. Go to your leaders, and they'll help you. They'll help you go get through this and do what it is that needs to be done. But I found that that wasn't the case, and I since have learned that that's the problem. Soldiers don't trust the leadership. They don't trust the system because there is no system.
When Sergeant Major was appointed to a panel reviewing the Army's sexual harassment policies, you decided to come forward and break your silence. What action are you taking, and how has the Army responded now?
Well, I filed a complaint through the Army's Criminal Investigation Division. That's the formal process that you go through with the help of my attorney. And the thing now, Katie, is that this isn't about me and my losing my career. I want to speak out for all the other women out there who might be going through this now or in the future. There is no system. The Army says there's a system. There isn't a system. If there was a system, I wouldn't be retired. They would have got me into that system and investigated this the proper way. What is the Army doing now? They're just going through the motions of the investigation, talking to friends of mine, and I would hope that they're doing that for the other side too, but that's all that the Army's doing that I could see, and making no comments.
Brenda Hoster, you're now working in New Mexico in a dental office, is that right?
That's right, Katie.
As a manager?
Yes, as an office manager.
Do you wish you were still in the Army?
Yes, I do, but you know what? If my being retired now and being able to speak out about this, even as a retiree, if that's what was meant to happen, then I'm glad that I'm retired, because now I can speak out without fear, because when you're in the Army, it's hard to come forward because, like I said, you don't trust the leadership. Well, I'm retired now, so now I can stand up and I could say, Army, you're telling us there's a system. There is no system. And if I can be the example out there to show that this stuff is going on, not just at basic training level, but at the highest levels of the Army, and I can help other women get out of these situations or prevent these situations from happening, then that's what I want to happen.
Brenda Hoster in Washington, thanks so much for talking with us this morning,
Katie.
Brenda. We appreciate it. And we'll be back with more right after this.
You are looking at a non-smoker. Haven't had a cigarette in 6 months or a piece of Nicorette gum in 3. I am a nicotine-free man because Nicorette helped me get off cigarettes my way. It eased me down, one craving at a time. I needed less and less and less Nicorette until I needed none, and none is a wonderful number.
Nicorette gum will help you quit smoking successfully by helping you control your cravings. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
In a Saab 900 5-door, you could take all your children and all your children's children. make the things that go bump go bye-bye. In the family car that makes sure the family chauffeur has some fun too. Find your own road. Saab. Lease a 97 Saab 900 S5 door for $299 a month.
The ones you love. Sweetheart. Honey. Muffin. Betty Crocker's Wild Blueberry Muffins. You love them so much, you could just eat them up. With Betty Crocker, life is sweet.
I'm Margot. I create new cereals at Post, like Banana Nut Crunch. I love fresh-baked banana nut bread. Great grains. I worked on this recipe for 2 years. Look at these gorgeous pecans. Blueberry Morning. These are not fake blueberries. Not in my cereal. I cannot tell you how proud I am of my Morning Tradition cereals. And just like every Post cereal, they are at a fair price every day. We don't think any cereal should be a luxury. Write to me. I'd love to know how you like them.
What should you do when a simple anti-wrinkle cream is no longer enough? Discover Plenitude Revitalift. With Pro-Retinol A, Revitalift reduces the appearance of wrinkles. With Paralasto Revitalift Firm Skin, you'll see firmer skin. Plenitude Revitalift from L'Oreal.
I had to go out of town, so my best friend said Max could stay with them. Max and Charlie got along great, except that Max kept eating Charlie's food, Purina One brand. So I checked. There's no better nutrition, and Purina One lamb and rice formula has real lamb as the #1 ingredient. That designer dog food I'd been feeding Max has corn as the #1 ingredient. So Max eats Purina One now, and we both couldn't be happier.
At a recent meeting of the Cookie Jar Investment Club,
this new Minute Maid Premium says it tastes like eating a fresh, ripe orange.
Tastes like something we should look into.
Call Carl. Tell him to gas up the jet. When we finally got to check it out, the vote was unanimous.
A definite buy.
Bye.
Next stop, the supermarket. We think this stuff's going to be big. We're not usually wrong about these things.
New Minute Maid Premium. Bite into it.
Why did 300,000 of your tax dollars end up in the hands of Fidel Castro to help build this nuclear reactor in Cuba?
I think it's outrageous.
The Fleecing of America, NBC 90 News tonight.
Star Wars was #1 at the box office last weekend, just like it was 20 years ago. And that has Gene Shalit going through his files.
Can't get out that way.
Looks like you managed to cut up our only escape route.
Maybe you'd like it back in your cell, Your Highness.
Back in 1977, when Star Wars originally opened, I brought together 3 young actors in the Today studio, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher. They were incipient stars just then starting to twinkle. And we had a chat about how they got their roles from George Lucas and how very unknown they still were. And with me are 3 stars of Star Wars. Carrie Fisher, who plays the princess, Mark Hamill, who plays the innocent and brave young hero, and Harrison Ford, the only movie actor named after 2 presidents, who is the dashing, daring space pilot who helps them all escape from danger. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Is that nice to be named after 2 presidents?
It's never come up before.
I have not seen, with the exception of Rocky, in the last few years, the kind of audience participation and audience reaction for and to a film that we have for Star Wars.
It's great to sit in a theater and see people really enjoy something like that.
Have you done it? Have you been?
Yeah.
Any of you, have you gone
yes.
to see a theater just anonymously, just go in as a patron?
It's easy to be anonymous at this point, really. Nobody recognizes us when we go into a theater, which is a pleasure, I must say.
Nobody recognizes you?
Just one guy who'd seen it 12 times, and he
What's
asked
his
me
reaction?
out.
He asked you out?
The princess. No, I first told him that I was the prize, that the 20th Century Fox officer had heard he'd seen it 12 times, and he got a free date with the princess and a bucket of popcorn. But he believed me.
How do you do audition for a film in which most of your acting is in front of a blue screen?
Unbelievable the way this came about. I wish I could say I walked in and he said, "There's Luke Skywalker." I walked in, George was having joint interviews with Brian De Palma, who was casting Carrie. Every 5 minutes there was another person waiting just to talk, and I never saw a script. I got 5 pages after that initial meeting in the mail. They said, memorize it, show up, you're going to test with this guy. And believe me, I said, it was never that George Lucas ever said, well, this is what we're going to do. This is kind of a, he said, let's just do it.
And you knew George Lucas because you were in one of his other big hits, American Graffiti, and very good in that, I must say. You've been in two enormous popular successes. American Graffiti is one of the top 25 money makers, and this is going to be sky high, you should pardon the expression. You three are young actors and actresses, and you work with one of the superb actors of our time, Alec Guinness. What was it like to work with that kind of a master, just like Olivier?
I was shaking when I first met him, and he came to the lobby of the hotel I was staying at so that we could have lunch and get to know each other. And he's very shy. Took a while to get to know him, but as he loosens up, he's everything you would want. He is generous. He wants you to look good. He's humble to almost to the point of being annoying. You can't talk about Bridge on the River Kwai. No, let's talk about your career. So you figure, what should I tell him about a soap opera I was on, or what?
Was he like that with you, Harrison Ford?
Yeah. He spent the first half hour of our acquaintanceship trying to get me a flat, on the telephone trying to get me a flat. He's enormously generous.
Well, the name of the movie is Star Wars. It is going to be one of the biggest money-making movies of our time, no doubt about it. One of the big hits of the summer, and these are three of the non-robots from Star Wars. Non-robots indeed. And since the Star Wars trilogy is sure to endure as long as motion pictures are shown, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill have achieved a kind of immortality. This is Today on NBC.